and especially in an election like this where it's a special election, a lot of the public doesn't know that there's an election.
Right.
And
so what
there's a
made him
winner-take-all aspect to this race where if one candidate gets 51% of the vote at the primary, it's over. They won. Right. So, although that's going to be very difficult because there is 5 candidates.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, and it doesn't, I don't want to pick on Victor Rivera, even though by far he was the most horrible of all the candidates there.
But he was the least prepared.
Ill-prepared, like you wouldn't believe.
Just watch the video. You can see we're not
you can see for yourself. I mean, you know. And I am putting clips out there of the questions they were asked and their response. So please watch those so you can, you know, see how they responded. But he did say a few things, and you were right. He did have a lot of doublespeak, and he was going back and saying the same things over and over again. But he did say at one point, I live just outside the city limits.
On the border or something.
I don't know if you caught that.
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, again, he came back and said something different, and then something like that. And
but I was attacked by his wife, as was, mostly me, and then Brandy defended me, and she was on different platforms. I had said there's rumors going around about a multitude, and of people who were not, you know, living or whatever. Boy, she came right after me, and, you know... So anyway, that's a whole, you know...
I mean, I think that for the most part, most of the candidates did very well. I think Jose, like, when he first got up to speak, he was very soft-spoken, so even on camera and in the video, it's hard to hear him.
I mean, what he did say was powerful. Because he was the only one that acknowledged that we're there because of the passing of Chuck Cooper.
Yes.
And that's huge. I mean, that's the truth, you know, and he said he wanted to honor his history.
And at the Republican meet and greet that we did go to, I do have to say, out of the 3 candidates, Minkler, Jose, and Colby, Jose is the only one that discussed the water at all. At all. It was not brought up by the other 2 candidates, not even the slightest. So that speaks volumes to me, because at the end of the day, the water has been my number 1 priority. I wouldn't be in this chair. I wouldn't be involved in the community if I hadn't started going after the city about the water. And the safety of the community and the health of the community is of utmost importance to me.
And I also have to say, one of the things to me that personally I was very supportive of was at the Republican debate, or, you know, whatever you want to call me, great. Jose spoke very eloquently about funding the police and what we need in this community. And he's right. A lot of people moved to this community because it was a safe community. It's somewhere you can let your kids play in your yard. And it's, you know, even after what has happened in our community the past couple of years, we've had, you know, a couple of things that unfortunately have happened that were, we'll say, an anomaly.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
It's a lot in a short amount of time.
It has been. And obviously my family being directly affected, we know that was not something that was necessarily a danger to the rest of the community. But I have to say that's one thing that really perked my little ears up, because I personally believe that keeping our community safe is humongously important. So thank you for Jose for that. I will say, you know, I don't think any of them did bad. I don't. I just think, except for, you know, like I said, the person who came the least prepared, that was kind of a disappointment.
There was just a couple of times where we just looked at each other like, what's going on?
I mean, honestly, there were a few times where I was holding back the laughter because I was embarrassed for him. And if I were him and I was sitting there and going through that and couldn't take my face out of my notes and just was talking nonsensical, I would have got up and left and excused myself and said, you know what? I'm not cut out for this. You know what I mean? I'm not ready for this. I need to leave.
Right.
So,
well, and then the non-circulation with the folks at the end of the thing. Listen, everybody can shake hands.
I think he just stood there and waited for people to come up to him, but he didn't give anybody any substance to ask them questions about.
I have to say, one person we know did approach, and the wife was not very friendly at all.
Oh, really?
She was not very friendly at all.
Shocking.
I know. And I'll say this though, it doesn't matter. We shouldn't have to approach you. You're asking for our votes. Excuse me, pardon me. You're asking for the community who I don't know anybody that I know that's knew who this gentleman was. He's never been involved in the politics before. He's never been vocal about anything.
Great. And you know, do you feel that anybody won this debate? Was there a clear-cut winner?
In my personal opinion, I would say if I had to choose anybody to win, it would be based on not really what was said, but how they presented themselves. and the stuff that I know about them previously. Like, honestly, if I had to choose based on what I saw, I would say Phil won. And I would say Phil won because Phil didn't need any notes to guide him. He spoke from the heart. He gave clear answers. And I really do think he did a great job. Jose did a great job too. He said a lot of the same things that Phil had said. Colby, they all three pretty much said the same thing.
Yeah,
so it's hard
that's
to
what
really
you're going to find in any of these elections.
My only thing is
everybody's going to say the same thing. When the mayor ran, he said the same things that we say. You know,
there was three distinct differences. Phil didn't have any paperwork in front of him.
Yeah.
Jose did, but he would glance down and then up and just to get himself on the right track. Colby was another one that read a lot off of his paper, and he name dropped. He name dropped Ricky Booth. He name dropped anybody that's currently involved Hansel. Anybody that's currently involved in the political scene here in St. Cloud and Osceola County that he thought would give him perks.
Yeah, I agree.
He mentioned. He didn't mention that he was hanging out with Nathan Blackwell, Fred Hawkins, what's his name? Mike Horner the night before at Fred Hawkins' a little launch party or kickoff party for his campaign. So, you know, that's another thing. Colby saying, oh, I'm not involved with any of those people. Well, your campaign finances say you are. Your after-hours activities and parties that you go to say that you are. So the writing's on the wall for me. And currently, if I had to choose, it would be between Martinez and Landry.
That's fair.
Well, that's fair to me.
It's fair.
We obviously know there was a clear-cut loser of this debate, so we don't have to go there. But
listen, I don't know the man. Mr. Rivera, I don't know him. I know how his wife treated a bunch of us. Not pleased by it, and that's my opinion. She threatened to make us shut up because we have our opinions.
She's accused us of stealing signs.
Yeah.
And you can accuse us of whatever you'd like, and she claims she has on camera. I would love to see myself on camera. But
sure. Well, you know what's funny is the day after I was, or the day that I was accused, I called.
Your sign got stolen.
My signs were gone too, ironically enough, in the same neighborhood. So I called code enforcement and talked to Pam Neal, who's the bigwig over there at code enforcement, and I said, hey, did you guys come take our signs? And she was like, if they were in the easement, then they were removed because guess what? You're not allowed to have them there. I said, you know what? I'm guilty of knowing that, and I took the risk because that's where I wanted it, and I'm sorry.
Funny. And you know what's funny? I when you called me and told me that, and I said, well, I don't have a sign in my yard right now, so I'm good to go. But going forward, it's good to know that they can take it if it's in your easement.
So they left the one that was in my yard because I had two. They left the one that was in my yard, and they pulled the one that was in the easement. I knew it was a possibility of having, but to me, it spoke volumes that I was being accused. Yes, but I was being accused by another candidate of taking his signs, but the other candidate didn't know that it was a code enforcement violation where those people's signs were, and that code enforcement took it. So you're running for a city position, but you don't even know the laws when it comes to campaign signs.
Yeah, and you did know that. The funny thing is sometimes the language is a little loose, and that's what happened during the mayoral campaign in November. Not just the mayoral, but just the campaign in general.
The
election in November, sorry. And so there's certain businessmen, you know who you are, who decided to call code enforcement and gets silly, but unfortunately it kind of backfired because code enforcement said, well, there is a loophole. Our verbiage was not exactly protected.
At first they tried to stick it to him, but then it didn't stick.
Chris Robertson's a smart kid, so
he is.
He gets it out there. So long story short, that changed for that. But yeah, they went back into the strict rules again. And listen, I don't think signs win the race. That's just me.
No.
I don't vote based on signs.
No.
I say the people who I feel, this is just my personal opinion, that did the best at the chamber debate was Phil and Jose Martinez, just because I felt like the both of them spoke very knowledgeably and passionately and factually.
And from the heart, not from the puppeteer's mouth, I
agree.
Yeah, I have to agree as well. I think that those two by far, and we do know these two people pretty well, and we know how they are out in the public and stuff. It's like you said, you've been out there volunteering with them, so have I. And we know who they are. And, the one thing that you said about him not having notes in front of him, that impressed me.
Yeah.
Because he just was putting it out there.
Right. Yeah.
Just coming from him.
Well, and the one thing for me personally, life experience is huge, right? Again, we go back to the thing about having 57,000 people in the community. 40,000 if something benefits them. You know, we want a new popsicle stand. Well, it benefits 40,000 people. 17,000 people don't like it. You have to have enough life experience to know.
To bridge the gap.
Well, and not even that, but how also, and yes, that's correct too, but I also feel like you have to know how to conduct yourself when there's times where you have to look at someone. Maybe it's your own parent in the community that's that 17,000. Maybe it's people you care about in that 17,000 you can't please. You have to know how to look at someone and say, look, I get it. Right now, you're not happy with me. I understand that. But sometimes the needs, well, all the time, the needs of many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to take the gut punches because maybe who knows, maybe the next time them people in that 17,000 will be part of the majority too. You know, and part of the 30,000.
Yeah. That's another thing about this town is that it's a very small. It's a very small, getting bigger town, and everybody knows everybody
through somebody.
And when those hard decisions come up that might affect your family or your friends, and you have to turn it down because it doesn't benefit the majority, specific people are gonna have a very hard time saying no to those things because
they funded or they were
their association with other people in the community.
Right, I agree.
You know, so that's why another, you know,
self-success stories.
Phil, you know, Jose, Daniel, they don't have those attachments.
That's definitely a good thing to see, in my opinion. And I think when the special election first happened, we were expecting to see one or two names. At one point in time, we had 7 people with their names in the hat.
We were like, oh.
Two didn't qualify, and I know both of those folks, and I know why one did not qualify, and I understand that makes sense to me. That would be Donnie Schroyer.
Yeah.
I know why he chose not to qualify, and I respect that. I don't know why Tony Busby didn't choose to qualify. I don't know. I haven't spoken with him about it, but you know, like I said, I can honestly say I was very shocked to see 5 people who threw their name in the hat, and 4 of them are pretty viable. But, you know, I have my own opinions, and like I said, I have not come out and supported a single candidate yet. I wait till the 11th hour, and I suss everything out, because a lot can change in a month.
It's true. It's very true.
You know?
All right, so just a reminder, all right, early voting does start on the 25th, and the primary election is Tuesday, October 5th. Please come out and vote. It's very important that we get this choice right. It is, you know, to replace Chuck and on the council.
It will change the landscape of this city for years to come if the decision isn't made correctly. So I think it's very important.
And again, let me reiterate again: voting is important. It's your voice. It's your choice. You get to say something as a taxpayer, as a community member. So I know some of you who've been very vocal out there haven't voted, and I know now, shame. You want to come out there and talk about how you did this and said they voted. I have it documented where they said they voted and they have not voted. So that's your integrity that you're putting on the line there.
Well, we've also heard some rumblings of possibly another special election coming up at some point as well.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, though.
No, I'm not too sure about that either.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, this town's a very fickle little beast. But so come out and vote. And then the other thing is, at last calculation, which I believe was on Thursday or Friday, someone gave me a little bit of statistics. My numbers are not going to be spot on. I'm a book nerd, not a number nerd for some reason. So anyway, for me, it is, somebody told me there was like 10,800 ballots that were sent out already. And of that, like 2,600 had already been returned. And so I want to see how many people come out to vote because, you know, we have a lot of registered people. You know? So, and like we said, some people may not even know what's going on. So.
Yeah.